Let's talk about that for a second. Who, in your opinion, professionally, who should be on Cellgevity?
Well, it's gotten much bigger as I've learned more about Cellgevity. I think people who are athletes, I think people who are under high stress, I think that people who are overweight, I think people who are active and want to take a preventive step. The ability to raise glutathione in cells is the key feature here, and as Don mentioned earlier, there are a number of ways you can increase it, but none so elegant or as impressive as the RiboCeine molecule, which relative to the original gold standard, which was n-acetyl cysteine, it's at least 290 to 300% more effective than that compound, and very important.
Yes, the clinical showed a 300% improvement. One of the studies that impressed me, and people have asked me why over 27 years you've got these 20 peer-reviewed studies that have been published in medical journals and scientific journals on RiboCeine. Why weren't they human studies? And I asked that question of Dr. Nagasawa, and the answer he gave me was wonderful. He said, number one, you can't control the variables in a human study. You can't control the air the person breathes. You can't control what they eat. You can't control their sleep patterns. There's so many variables that can affect glutathione activity that you can't control. Whereas with the animal studies, you could put them all in the same environment. They all breathe the same air. They all eat the same diet. They all do the same amount of exercise. The only thing that changes is either they get RiboCeine or they don't. When they tested how it raised glutathione levels in the various tissues, and in heart cells, in 16 hours, RiboCeine raised the glutathione levels by 80%. And as you mentioned, the heart needs glutathione. I mean, it never stops. 24/7.
Well, there's more mitochondria in the heart muscle than any other cells in the body.
Yeah.
So it needs that glutathione more than any other cell.
And then the liver uses it for detoxification, and a liver cell has more glutathione than any other cell in the body, I've heard. And yet even in the liver cells, it increased glutathione levels by 50%. In the muscle cells, think how we use our muscles, it increased glutathione levels by 150%. In 16 hours.
And that's why it's so good for athletes. When they optimize their glutathione levels, they're going to generally perform better.
And recover better.
And recover better, sure.
More quickly. And so you went ahead, you became a believer, obviously.
I did.
Should people that don't have any issues be on Cellgevity?
Absolutely. I mean, the idea is you want to have your body as tuned as you can. You want to put all of those things increasing your glutathione levels and all of these organs that you've mentioned, and so I often use the analogy. You know, people say, "Well, I don't feel anything," but prevention is like that. If you feel something, it's too late. Or alternatively, you may have a condition, and this could potentially help you by raising the glutathione levels. The Cellgevity compound, RiboCeine in it, raises it in the cells and decreases the inflammation. I view this as akin to, although I don't like the analogy entirely, that it's like a vitamin, because vitamins are nowhere near as powerful. In fact, many of them need a glutathione molecule to really recycle. But if you take vitamins, you don't necessarily feel much, but you know they're doing their job. You know that you require them. And the beauty of glutathione is it's in every cell in your body. It's involved in multiple pathways through linkages to other things that go on in your body. And why would you not want to have the master antioxidant at its peak performance to protect you from the constant assault from the environment of just driving through a city, the toxins in the air, drinking water, eating sushi, the chelating compounds of it. Sushi has mercury and various other compound, metals in it. And so these sorts of things are very important. And here you have one compound that, without eating 2,000 calories additional of whey, can get this into your cells where it's needed to produce, so that your own cells produce this glutathione and protect your body and decrease your inflammation.